You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, especially if you plan on running a large corporation or you're running a business, because at the end of the day, when you run a business, every day will not be the same and you are going to run into issues. It's impossible that you're running a corporation, a business, whatever it is, and you don't run into issues. Whether it's scheduling issues, whether it's staff issues, whether it's client issues, whether some of your systems are broken. And so you're consistently going to be put into these uncomfortable situations. And being a business owner is about how you can locate problems within your company and find solutions for them as quickly as possible. And these solutions aren't just temporary fixes. You have to be able to find permanent fixed solutions. And you have to evaluate the risks at all times. And evaluating the risks of these problems and these solutions will allow you to flourish and will allow you to grow. So those type of situations that you end up in when you run into a problem where, let's say you're running ads to your e-com store and your ad account goes down. Well, what are you going to do in order to solve that problem? Are you just going to sit there and be like, oh, well, my ad account went down, now I can't operate? Or are you going to go out and try and figure things out in a position where you're going to be able to get back up and running as quickly as possible? Lots of businesses are based on cash flow, and if you can't keep that momentum and that cash flow going within your company, then you're most likely going to hit zero. So you always have to figure out how to keep that momentum going and work off that momentum. The worst thing you could do is get into a sales drought and just let yourself stay at an all-time low, because most people end up seeing profitability over the course of, let's say, a couple weeks, and they get comfortable with that and think it's going to last forever and then stop working on their business. The thing is, you guys cannot get comfortable in these situations, and you will run into issues. And when you run into those issues, how are you going to solve them? The worst thing that you can do is try to pick back up that momentum that you previously had, because your business died out now. Your business died out. So what are you really doing to locate all these issues within your business and find problems before they even occur? Prevention is better than cure in any type of situation. So if you know that you might run into a manufacturing issue later down the line because suppliers can't keep up with the amount of volume that you're pushing through, then order stock beforehand. Yes, you're going to have to put the money out. So that's why we talk about risk management and where to allocate your budget and understand, all right, if I invest in X amount of inventory, one, my margins could drop, my margins could drop significantly. Two, it'll put me in a position where I will be able to scale a lot harder and a lot faster. The only thing that I'm going to be limited to is maybe ad budget. So at that point in time, you figure out how to manage your cash flow. You figure out how to allocate your risk. If you buy too much inventory, what risks may you run into? Well, one, let's say for whatever reason your marketing accounts go down, which is a very common issue, especially in the e-commerce space, then you're going to be sitting on a whole bunch of inventory. Two, if you allocate too much budget towards ordering inventory, you might not have enough budget to go ahead and push into ads. You also have to pay out your staff. You also have to potentially send out some refunds, whatever it is. So you guys have to be able to manage your risks within your company and understand where you need to allocate your budget. Just because you have, let's say, $100,000 sitting in the bank doesn't mean you actually have $100,000, because next month you're going to have to go out and spend maybe $50,000 on ads, and you have X amount of people that you have to pay out. You have X amount of inventory you have to order. So the money in your bank isn't necessarily all the money that you have, because you have to be able to reinvest that. So manage your risk and try to locate problems before you run into those issues, because these issues could essentially determine whether you're going to be inactive for over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, or if you're going to be. These issues are going to determine whether you're going to be inactive over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, or if you're going to be active throughout the whole year. Personally, I ended up in a problem this year where we had a lot of inactivity across the board for several months, and this is probably an issue that could have been located beforehand had we have been paying more attention to certain things, or had we have prepared for the possibility of those issues. We didn't necessarily think we were going to run into it. And this was, unfortunately, a front end and back end issue. So this year was a very rough year for us. And I've learned a lot this year. And that's why I'm trying to get on here and give you guys the knowledge and the value that I've personally gone through this year. And I told you guys, like $150,000 to maybe $200,000 this year just running into these sorts of issues. And these are things that I'm picking back up from now, and I'm still recovering, and I'm creating systems to prevent these issues from happening later down the line. So you guys have to understand how to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because You're never in a perfect situation. Your business is never perfect. There's always room for improvement. And if you don't always work on this type of improvement, your business will eventually run into those issues that you could have probably prevented beforehand if you were in the trenches in your business, digging deep and actually putting in the work the same way that everybody else was putting in, because you have to be able to look at systems deeper than anything else. You're overlooking everything. You're in charge of everything. So you're the one that's taking on all the risks when it comes down to certain systems that might break. You're the one that's gonna have to pay for it when you guys have to recover. So get in the trenches of your business. Get in the trenches of your business. You have to be able to look at it, understand every single system within your company. I know too many people that run companies but don't understand all the systems within their business. So when they bring on staff and they bring on partners, and the partners understand their own business better than they understand it themselves, it doesn't make sense. So dig deep into the trenches of your company and figure out where you could find issues, figure out where you could allocate budget, and then make sense of the finances that you have, because these finances have to be able to last. Personally, the way I look at my finances is looking at the bank account, I try to figure out how I can make this last at least a year. Some people do 6 months. In my opinion, at least a year, because in my mind, I could figure things out within a year if anything were to go bad and I have a cash. In my mind, I could figure things out within at least a year, and I have a cash reserve that will be able to last me a year. So within that year, I'd have to figure out how to pick things back up. So yeah, that's gonna be that for this video. Once again, you guys just have to get comfortable with these situations that you may feel a little bit more uncomfortable in, and just understand everything as a whole from start to finish, and manage your risks. So that'll be today's lesson. That'll bring us to the end of the video. For those of you that are still struggling within your business, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys are struggling with, and I'll be able to get back to you. And aside from that, yeah, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.